Hey guys, okay, so we're back. Apologies about that. So we've actually did it in two parts now. Again, this evening we're chatting to Karin, and she, I would say, is a specialist when it comes to PCOS. And hi, Karin, I see you there. You had Skin Answers. So Karin is actually represents a company called The Mill, and they deal with a product which is called Ovaria. So I hope we get everyone back again so we can continue this conversation because we're getting to the good parts of like really explaining to us what is PCOS and what we can do in order. And she comes back with a smile and a laugh as always. It's good to have you back. Thank you for joining us again, Karin.
Whoa, to be sweet. And
Shame.
I sweet easily.
Oh my word. Okay, so you were like I was saying,
Well,
you were just
we
talking.
were
Sorry.
just getting to the lacquer stuff.
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So we've got
Okay.
testosterone and yeah, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay. So we've got in our bodies, we've got testosterone and we've got free testosterone. I don't know if you got that. Okay.
Yes.
So you generally in females' bodies, in males as well, testosterone is bound so that it doesn't go and activate cells that it shouldn't be activating. Um, but it's like a little nanny that wanders around with testosterone and goes, please don't go there. You can't go there. Okay, you can go there. So build some muscle or do some of this or do some of that.
Yeah.
And it releases it. But if there aren't any nannies, you've got testosterone running around your body. And that is when you see strange male type hair growth. You get hair on your chest or on your neck or
Yeah.
on your toes, or you start getting male pattern baldness,
That was
or
the
you grow a beard or a mustache. It's like, why is this happening to me? And
yeah.
that's all because testosterone has no nanny.
Yeah.
Okay. So
That's a nice way of putting
so
it.
what? And that's just because estrogen's not around.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there's not enough estrogen. You're still producing a little bit of estrogen, but you're not producing enough to control the testosterone. So that then can lead to the hair growth. Also, one of the big areas that are very testosterone sensitive are the hair follicles. And specifically the sebaceous glands. So sebaceous glands are sensitive little things. And sometimes even with just a slight little fluctuation in testosterone, they suddenly make more sebum. So you get oily skin.
Yeah.
And that then triggers and it also triggers changes in how your skin turns over, and it triggers and you then get acne. Okay. Now that acne generally is very difficult to treat because of the testosterone. Okay. So that's on the one side, you've got the male hormone. Long term, this male hormone will also affect how your it will also long term, what it does is it has a negative effect on those little cysts or the ovaries or the ovums growing up and releasing. So the longer you have cysts on your ovaries that aren't popping and releasing estrogen, the more difficult it becomes to become pregnant, because you need to reverse a lot more and you need to get healthy ovaries. Now, what we also now know, and that's unfortunate because when you were 16, we probably didn't know this, but we know that, and we're not sure if this is a chicken or egg situation, which one came first, but we know that the ovaries need glucose. They need a lot more glucose than what the rest of the body does. And we also now know that 80% of women with PCOS also have insulin resistance.
Yeah.
Now, insulin is a little key that opens the door. It opens a key on one side of the cell, and on the other side of the cell, a door opens up and glucose can flood into the cell, and the cell will be fed and will be happy and will grow and have normal function. Now, in PCOS, there's something wrong with the lock and the key. Okay, so the cell sort of trying to open up that door, and a little bit of glucose gets in, and the cell goes, I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
Oh, there's glucose. I'm still hungry.
Yeah.
I'm still really hungry. What does your brain go? Gosh, I'm hungry. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And what your body does is it goes, oh, there's so much glucose around, and the cells aren't using it. Maybe they're all already full. So your body goes, fat stores. Let's put it in the fat stores. Let's just put it away. There's so much glucose around. Can't we shouldn't have so much glucose. Oh, Lee, you shouldn't have so much glucose in your bloodstream. You're going to get damaged. Your eyes and your brain and your toes and your fingers and everything will get damaged. And you might get type 2 diabetes or even type 1 diabetes. So let's just shove it into the fat stores. So you start picking up weight. And what then happens is your pancreas goes, okay, there's so much glucose, we better put more insulin in here. So it pumps out insulin. And what you end up having is a system that's filled with glucose, filled with insulin, but it's going nowhere. The cells keep on saying, I'm hungry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And the ovaries go, I need to grow. Oh, I'm so hungry. I can't grow anymore. I'm really hungry. I need more glucose. And insulin, can you do your work, please? And insulin's not doing its work. It's not opening up. It's not letting glucose in. And that then worsens the process. And the more weight you pick up, the more your body says, but I'm still hungry. Okay.
Yeah.
After a while, the fat becomes saturated. There's too much glucagon inside the fat cells, and the fat cells will actually start releasing it in the form of free fatty acids. And that then long term will lead to high cholesterol and longer term heart attack and gestational diabetes, etc., 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 etc. Okay, so that sounds terrible. This is all happening in my body. How can that be?
Yeah.
Okay. So how do we fix it? Well, what we do is if we can fix the insulin and how it's received in the ovary,
So in other
the
words,
ovary will grow and
the lock and the key.
Sorry?
If we can fix the
The
lock.
lock and the key. We need to fix the lock and the key. Because if we can fix the lock and the key, and we can get that ovary to have glucose come into it and feed it and give it the energy it needs, because it needs a lot of energy. Remember, it's growing very quickly. It's got a whole lot of processes going on. It's doing a lot of stuff. It's making hormones. It's making ready for a baby. It's growing your half of your baby. Hey, how exciting is that? But if it doesn't have energy, it can't do that. If it doesn't have glucose, if there's no glucose getting into those cells inside that little ovum, it can't grow. So we need to fix the lock and the key. How do we do that? We give you a form of sugar called myo-inositol. It's actually a vitamin B3 that's like a sugar. It tastes like sugar. It's sweet. And what that does is it then takes the insulin, links it to the, it actually doesn't need that much insulin, right? But what it does is it makes the cell open up the door properly so that the glucose can run into the cells that need it in the ovum. They can use the energy properly and they can grow properly and start releasing those eggs properly, which means they're releasing eggs, which makes you more fertile. They're releasing estrogen, goes to the brain and goes, darling, turn off that testosterone, please. The pituitary gland speaks to the adrenal glands, tells the adrenal glands, guys, down there, stop making testosterone. You don't need it anymore. Turn it off. All right? So your testosterone levels start to normalize, and we know that from the trials. Within 3 months, those testosterone levels are very much normal again. We've got estrogen, it's prolactin, hey?
Yeah.
Prolactin raises, so we can see that you're now fertile. There's stuff that's happening. When we test your blood, it's fluctuating. It's not this, all right?
Yeah.
If you look at a PCOS lady's hormone levels, it's like there's no blip, all right? We need the blip so that we know that so we get the blip and we know, oh, you're ready to make a baby, okay?
Yeah.
We know that just by giving you myo-inositol, which is in ovaria, we can sort out your ovulation. Oh, and I didn't mention, of course, if you're not ovulating, you're also not menstruating, or you're not menstruating regularly.
Yeah.
So what does the doctor do? The doctor goes, you're not menstruating regularly, let's put you on the pill. And you go, But Dr.
Why?
Sue, I want my baby. And
Yes,
he goes,
yes,
no,
yes.
you have to go, we can regulate your cycle.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
It's not normal to have irregular cycles. You should be menstruating every 28 to 32 days. If you're not, that's one of the symptoms. Okay.
Yeah.
So by giving you ovaria, we sort actually all of that out. Can it be that simple? It can, or it
Yeah,
is. Right.
it
Okay.
is.
So what's the catch? I saw a question though on symptoms. So let's just quickly run through the symptoms. So there are three groups of symptoms that we look for. The first one is high testosterone levels, which we see as acne, oily skin, or male type hair growth. Right.
Yeah.
Symptom number two is irregular menstruation.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you are not menstruating every 28 days, I'm not talking about if you're menstruating every 2 weeks. That's another problem. Okay,
Yeah.
but if you're not menstruating if your menstruations are longer apart than every 28 days. So what we do is we talk about if in a 12-month period you menstruate 8 times or less, we have to start looking at polycystic ovary syndrome. And
Yeah.
then the third symptom is cysts on the ovaries. And that's the only one you really need to go to a gynae for. Now, if you have two
Yeah.
of those three, you have PCOS. All right.
Yeah.
On top of that, irrational weight gain. So it's like literally you look at a chocolate cake and it comes and sits on your stomach. Okay. You might be dieting, exercising, you might be running marathons, and you still have you should have luscious baby bearing hips, but they're just a little bit too much, right? You
Yeah.
struggle to lose weight. That's on top of it. Um, Tell me what other symptoms? Infertility, of course. 50% of cases of infertility are related to PCOS.
Wow.
Irregular menstruation we've already spoken about. Then there are other symptoms, headaches. You can have mood fluctuations. Of
Yeah.
course, the frustration of not being able to fall pregnant will cause mood fluctuations as well.
Yeah.
So those are symptoms that we also see in
Yeah.
PCOS, but we really look for those groups of three. All right. Now, what's the catch? Once you have to use myo-inositol ovaria, hopefully,
Okay.
that's your choice, for at least 3 months, and you're probably going to have to stay on it for as long as possible. Okay,
Yeah.
so luckily there's no side effect profile. So you can drink it when you're vegan. It's a plant-based extracts. There's no side effect profile. I just have to say that sometimes in the first 3 months, your menstruations might be a little bit hectic and strange. So that's the only thing that I'm really seeing, but there's no other side effect profile. There's no other drug interaction. You can use it while you're on the pill. You can use it while you're drinking your glucophage. You can use it while you're on your Clomid. You can use it with all of those medications. In fact, one of the trials looked at using myo-inositol in a fertility kind of environment. So where women were going for fertility treatments, they were put onto myo-inositol and they went right through the pregnancy on myo-inositol. So we also know that it's safe to use in pregnancy.
Wow.
But the catch is you can't just wait for a week and say, okay, I'm good. Sorry,
Yeah.
honey. Can't
Yeah,
do
yeah.
that.
I,
All
I
right.
think we have to stress that because a lot of women will ask, what can I take? And you give them advice and you say, like, this is a good product if you're dealing with PCOS or with men in their, like, yes, this is sperm, something to help with sperm, aid with the
Yes.
sperm.
With the,
And they think and take it for a week, and then after the week, I should be pregnant. I'm like, no, you need to please. And I always stress it to everybody. I will sell they'll purchase a product and I'll say, please, here's the product, but please, please, please use it for at least 3 months to see a difference at some point. So please
yeah.
stress that as much as possible. At least
Yeah.
3 months.
All the trials were between 16 and 24 weeks. So 4 months actually is the minimum.
Mm.
And just also be aware that a lot of stuff changes in those first few months. So your menstruations might be a little bit more heavy. You might have a little bit more headaches. And it's because what we're doing is we're actually fixing how all your cells are using glucose.
Yeah.
Of course, our focus is the ovary. And our focus is to fix that lock and key and to get the glucose into the cell, but it's happening all over your body. So that's very, very important. Yes, there were one or two ladies. There's in one of the trials, one lady fell pregnant before the first month was over. And in another trial, somebody started menstruating very quickly. But those are the exception. Generally, we are looking at least 3 months. And you will see all your symptoms that are associated with PCOS improve. A lot of the girls ask me, how quickly will I lose weight? You're still going to have to look at the diet. Okay, so the diet, keep moving, all right? Or the lifestyle. It's lifestyle. It's a healthy lifestyle. So it's 80% of the time you have to eat right, 20% of the time life happens, and that's okay. But you can't be eating McDonald's every day and drinking 2 liters of Coke. Please, nobody should be doing that, all right? I know some people, I know, but that's not a good lifestyle. And then on the guys, when you're taking, and I don't know if we've got time to talk about PCOS prelox fertility, but 98 days, 3 months before you have, so you're waiting for your body to make a whole new batch of sperm. Okay, you're not baking bread, guys. It's not overnight. It takes 3 months before you have all your sperm renewed. All right. So sperm renewal cycle is longer than looking at ovarian cycle. But just know that. So you have to take your medications or your supplements. Sorry, we don't sell medication. We're selling supplements for that period of time.
That's correct. Yeah, please tell, can you please tell our viewers where they can purchase Ovaria?
Okay, so Ovaria is available at all major pharmacies. If your pharmacy doesn't have it, please ask your pharmacist to get it. It's at all the pharmaceutical distributors, so they can get it from there. We also have a health store on Lamal. So just go Lamal Health Store, search for that on Google, and you can get it online. And it will be delivered to your door. But biggest area is pharmaceutical or all our pharmacies. And then, of course, they can get it from you. Leanne, do you sell it on your website?
I do. I do sell it.
You said everything else, get it from Fertility Solutions, please.
Yes, you can get it from me, but I mean, I always say that not everybody wants to buy it online, as long as we're creating awareness about the product, that there is this product out there. So whether or not you get it from my store, or whether you get it from the Discount or Clicks or wherever you get it, the product is available to you as well as from the Mal or Ovari. You can go search online as well. So thank you once again, Karen. If you guys have any questions as well for Karen, I know you can go to the Lamal or the Varia website and they can actually send you guys messages. Is that correct? Ask questions?
Yes, you can definitely on our website. I'm just looking through some of the questions. So if we've got 3 minutes, Leanne. What I just want to make sure that everybody realizes is PCOS and polyps in your uterus and endometriosis are 3 totally different things. Okay, they have totally different treatment options. What we are focusing on tonight is PCOS. We've got a solution for PCOS. We don't yet have a product solution, and we don't yet have an endometriosis solution. That might come. I don't know. We'll have to see what Dr. Bradley, our medical director and researcher, comes up with. But right now, so I saw there was a question on polyps. Please check with your gynae and ask the questions. Ask questions and ask how we're going to keep those things from reforming once again. Okay.
I actually had polyps all the time. So I know but you go in for the actual procedure for them to remove it every time because
Okay.
it could affect you when it comes to trying
Yes.
to conceive. And
Yeah.
every time you think, okay, this is you going for this
Now they
treatment,
remember.
you're gonna have it, and they're like, nope, sorry, we have to cancel this one. We first have to remove the
Oh,
polyps. So
honey.
yeah.
And there's nothing that you could do to keep them from regrowing.
You know what? I actually thought that I started noticing every time I was on the medication, it's like the medication sped up the formate
The
the polyps from forming. So every time I was on
mm,
medication, it was Clomid, and I don't know what else I was on, and it actually sped up. So every time we thought we're gonna, okay, this is the cycle, we're going to do whatever treatment we were busy with, but there was more polyps. So we, instead of doing the actual
mm,
cycle, we have to go in for surgery to remove the polyps again. So I remember speaking
yeah.
to Granny at the time, and he's saying that, there's nothing he can do for it. There's nothing we can actually do as long as I'm trying to conceive. There's actually nothing I can do about it.
Oh, honey. Yeah, and
Yeah.
of course, it's like having a foreign body in your uterus, and a
Yes,
baby's not going to want to grow in there with a foreign
that's
body. So,
correct.
yeah, that's why. And then you have to wait another month because you need to wait for the endometrium to regrow
That's
to make a
correct.
little garden for the baby.
Yes.
This pregnancy, fertility is so full of interesting pictures. But anyway,
Definitely. Definitely.
all right.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
So was there anything
Any
else?
I think that is very much what I have at the moment. I'm sure that, yes, Susie has answered in pharmacies. I'm just looking at if there's anything interesting. You don't need a script for Avaria. You
No,
can
yeah.
you can buy it off the shelf. Sometimes they do put it behind. I don't think it's behind the shelf. It should be in
No.
front.
No, it's
At the
always in the
female health.
eye. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
in
get
the
all the
female health.
stuff. That is where you will find Novadia.
Yeah, and
Anyway,
just stay on it. Um, yeah, just drink it and stay on it. Yes. And another thing is how young can I start? When you find, so if your daughter is, so generally I would give, if you start menstruating, take
Yeah,
a year and see how regularly you're menstruating. Um, if you need to go to the gynae, all right, they can do a sonar from the outside. They don't have to do anything strange to
yeah,
diagnose
yes,
cysts. Um, but you can take it when you start menstruating. Okay,
yeah,
so there's no contraindication. It's not age related. Of course, based on that also, I cannot fix you or I cannot make you fertile if you are in your menopause. That's another question I sometimes get is will ovaria, can I have a baby at
can
55?
be birthday.
You probably can, but I cannot get your body to make more ovums if there aren't any. All right.
Yeah,
So this is from the insulin resistance point of view, you can drink ovaria, but it's not going to make you fertile again.
yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Stunning.
Thank you very much, Karen.
You.
Thank you so much.
It's
And
an
Vanya,
absolute pleasure.
it's always a pleasure to have you and chat to you. Everything is just easy going, and we can have a laugh and smile and laugh of everything. So thank you again. And thank you for always trying to create awareness as well in everything that you do and making everything so fun and exciting and easy to understand, for someone on the other side. So yeah, have a great evening and thank you again.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
a
you for
pleasure.
having me, and thank you, Susanna, and thank you for everybody who joined. That's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Thanks everyone. Thanks,
Stunning.
Susanna.
See you soon.
Bye. Bye.
Bye, Leanne.